Read Swastika, P6 class test 2. So this is for term 2. Use of calculators not allowed. Question 1. Jane received $200 prize money. She gave $80 to her sister. What percentage of the prize money did Jane give to her sister? Okay, so she gave $80 out of $200. So as a fraction, that will be 80 over 200. Now, if you want to change this to percentage, you have to multiply by 100%. Okay, so this will give us, without calculators, so what you can do is, can simplify, cancel the zeros. So 80 divided by 2, 40%. Okay, so option 2. Question 2, figure shows a right-angled triangle. Find the area of the triangle. So this question tells you two things. One is to identify your height and base. Then the other is to apply the correct area of triangles formula. Okay, so that the base and height have to be perpendicular. So look at the right angle here. We're looking at 24 and 10. So half times 10 times 24. Okay, so you can leave the 10 alone. What you're going to do is half of 24 instead. That'll be easier because it's easier to multiply by 10 later. Okay, so half of 24 will be 12. Then 12 times 10. 120. Question 3. Figure shows a circle with the quarter circle removed. The radius of the circle is 20 cm. Find the total area in terms of pi. Now, two things to note. One is which formula should you use? Second is to multiply by the fraction because it's not the whole circle that we want. Okay, so remember to multiply by 3/4. So I'll take 3/4 first, then multiply by the formula of a circle, which is pi times radius times radius. What? You can also do this without calculator. So this will give you 400. Then 3/4 of 400 is 300. So answer 300 pi, option 3. Question 4. Two pieces of wire of equal length were used to form a square and a rectangle as shown. Find the length of the rectangle. Okay, so two pieces of wire of equal length. This perimeter would be the same as this perimeter. What we can find is the perimeter of the square. So 8 times 4, which is 32. Now, perimeter of the rectangle would also be 32. So we take 32 minus 4 minus 4, which is 24. And this is the length of two of the sides, the two lengths of the rectangle. So to find the length, one length, you take 24, divide by 2, which is 12. So answer 12 cm. Question 5. Jen saved $40 of her allowance and spent the rest. When she increased her savings by 10%, her spending decreased by 5%. How much was her allowance? Okay, so if she saves $40 of her allowance initially, and if she were to increase her savings, means that the spending would decrease. Okay, because if she saves more, then she end up spending less. So that 10% of her savings is the same as the 5% of her spending. Okay, so if I want to find 10% of her savings, this is savings, savings. So 10% of savings would be 10 over 100 times $40, which is $4. So her savings increased by $4 means that her spending would decrease by $4. So if the spending decreased by 5%, this means that 5% of her spending is actually $4. We want to find her allowance, which is the total amount of money. So let's find the original amount of spending first. Okay, from here I'll find 100% straight away. So this is the original amount of spending. So from 5 to 100, remember, don't multiply by 100. Okay, this is times 20. So we take $4 times 20, which is $80. Okay, how much was her allowance? You take the savings, $40 plus 80. Which is $120. So option 3. Next question 6. Students in a camp were divided into group A, B, and C. There were 18 students in group A, 12 in B. Ratio of B to C was 3 to 4. Find the ratio of students in A to B. So we want the ratio of students in A to B. Okay, A we have 18, as given a question, and then B we have 12. So 18 to 12. Now we need to simplify this, so you can divide by 6. This will give us 3 to 2. Okay, so simplest form, 3 to 2. Next, find the ratio of A to C. So we have A to B. We also have B to C. Okay, let's write the ratio down first. So A to B is 3 to 2. B to C is 3 to 4. Okay, 3 to 4 here. Now you need to find common base. The common base between these two ratios will be B, because B appears in both. So I need to make it the same by finding your common multiple. 2 and 3, so it's 6. So here will be 9, because you multiply by 3. And then here will be 8, because you multiply by 2. So once the common base is found and made equal, you can use the numbers across both ratios. We want group A to group C. So A to C would be 9 to 8. Question 7. A shop sold 240 tables for the year. 35% of the tables were sold in December. How many tables were sold in December? Okay, so 35% were sold. What you can do is 35 over 100 times 240. Okay, so it's 35% of its times of 240. Okay, let's simplify this. You can remove the zeros first. Then 35 divide by 5, 10 divide by 5. This would be 7, and this would be 2. Then you simplify the 2 and 24. Okay, there is another color. So 2 and 24, this is 12. So 7 times 12 is 84. Okay, so answer is 84. Alternatively, you can use the unitary method, which means 100% of the total is 240. Then let's not find 1%, find something that's easier to divide. Okay, so I need to find 35%. So let's do 5%, then 35%. So to get 5%, this one is not divide by 100, divide by 20. So 240 divide by 20, which is 12. Then from 5 to 35, this would be times 7. So 12 times 7, 84. Okay, so either of the methods is fine. For part B, the price of one table before 9% GST was $700. Find the amount of GST for one table. So we are only looking for GST, which is 9%. Okay, so before GST is always 100%. So 100% of the original is $700. Then I want to find 9%, so I have to find 1% first. Okay, so 1% of the original, so you divide by 100, which is $7. Then lastly, GST is 9%, so take 9 times 7. Okay, so answer 63. Question 8. Figure 1 is made up of 3 rectangles, A, B, C. Figure 2 is formed after removing C. So they said that A and B have the same area. Area of figure 2 is 240 square cm. So since A and B have the same area, right? And they said that the area of figure 2 is 240. We can take 240 divided by 2. So 240 divided by 2, which is 120. So this is 120 square cm. This is also 120 square cm. Okay, so next, I'm supposed to find the perimeter of figure 2. Let's find this first. This side. So that's the length of A, for which we will use area divide by breadth. Okay, so 120 divide by 6, which is 20 cm. So this is 20 cm. Okay, the one in yellow is 20. There is actually another 20 cm as well. It's this plus this. There's another 20. Okay. Now this part here would be 6 plus 8. 14. So that's the green one is 14. There's another 14 which is here. These two combined. So total perimeter 20 plus 20 plus 14 plus 14, which is 68. So answer 68 cm. Next, find the area of rectangle C. Okay, there are two ways to do this. One is you find the area of ABC, then you minus A and B, or you can take length times breadth of C. Okay, since I have the breadth, right, this one's 14, and I have the length, I'll do length times breadth to find A, B, and C. Okay, so area of A, B, C is 20 times 14, 280. Then remember area of A and B is 240. So to find C, you just minus 240. So 280 minus 240. Okay, answer 40 cm square cm. Okay, I'll just write down the second method. The second method is I will be finding this times this. Okay, this is 8. So to find the breadth of B would be 20 minus the length of B. Sorry. Okay. So the length of B is 120 divided by 8. Second method, length of B 120, the area, divided by the breadth to get this. Just 15. So this is 15. Then the breadth of C be 20 minus 15. 5. So this is 5. Okay, 20 is this. The one in yellow. 20 minus 15 is 5. Now area of C is 8 times 5. Which you also get 40. Question 9. A shop had a sale and gave the same percentage discount on all types of bags. So the table shows information of 2 different bags in this shop. Okay, we have bag A, bag B. The sale price is given, usual price is given for bag A, but for bag B only the sale price is given. So what's the percentage discount for bag B? Now, take note that there is the same percentage discount on all types of bags. So the percentage discount for bag B is the same as the percentage discount for bag A. Okay, so same percentage discount on all types of bags. So that's something you need to take note. Okay, because without the usual price, I cannot find the discount for bag B. So I'll use bag A to help me do that. So the discount for bag A is 40 minus 32, which is $8. Percentage discount over original. So take note, you should be using the original price of 40, not the sale price. Then you want percentage, so times 100%. Okay, so we simplify. This is 1, this is 5. 1/5 of 100% is 20%. So answer here 20%. Okay, then now for bag B. So now I know that there is actually a 20% discount, which means that this sale price is actually 80%. So we want to find original, which is 100%. So if 80% of the original, this is for bag B, this is $48. Then I want to find 100%, let's find 20% first. After 20%, I'll find 100%. Okay, for 20% is $48 divided by, here, divide 4, which is $12. Then $12 times This one is times 5. Okay, times 5. So answer, $60. Question 10. Anne, Betty, and Charles donated some money to a charity. Anne donated 1/3 as much as Betty. Charles donated 5/6 of the total amount of money Anne and Betty donated. So find the ratio of the amount of money donated by Anne to the amount of money donated by Betty to the amount donated by Charles. Okay, so I'll use ratio for this. Anne donated 1/3 as much as Betty. So the ratio A to B would be 1 to 3. Okay, 1 for Anne and then 3 for Betty. This, the next ratio, Charles is 5 units. Then what is 6? 6 is the total of A and B. So this is A plus B, 6 units. Okay, from here, okay, let me just shift this first. Okay, from here, I need to find the common base first. Okay, every time you have more than one set of ratio, you need to find common base to link the ratios together. So the common base between these two ratios will be the total of A and B. So A plus B needs to be added on here. This is 4 units. So common base A plus B, they represent the same thing. So you have to change it to the same number of units. Common multiple of 4 and 6. The lowest common multiple of 4 and 6 is 12. Okay, not 24, 12. So first ratio, you times 3. It is 3, 9, 12. Second ratio times 2, 10 to 12. Now read the question. You want to find ratio of A to B to C. So A, B, C. A is 3, B is 9, C is 10. So 3 to 9 to 10. Question 11. Mr. Tang had some books for sale. He sold 150 books on Monday and 25% of the remainder on Tuesday. He was left with 30% of the books he had at first. Okay, so what percentage of his books did he sell on Monday? I'm going to use model since they say of the remainder, right? So I'll represent it in a model. First thing we want to remove is your 150. Okay, so let's say this is 150, which is what he sold on Monday. Okay, then Tuesday is 25% of the remainder. 25% is 1/4. So I'll take 1/4 of the remainder. And 1 unit for Tuesday. And he was left with 30% of the books he had at first. So this part here is 30% of the total at first. So I'll put a T. This is 30% of the total. Then what I'll do now is, since 30% is the 3 units, right? So each of them is 10%, 10%, 10%. This is also 10% then. Okay, because they are same size. So what is 150? 150 would be 100% minus 40%. So 60%. How many books did he have for sale at first? So this 60% is 150. Okay, so 60% of the total is 150. At first is 100%. So we find 20% first, then we find 100%. So 60 to 20 is divide by 3. So 150 divided by 3 is 50. Then next, divide by, sorry, not divide, but times 5. So 50 times 5 equals 250. Is answer 250 book set first? Okay, next question. Question number 12. There is an error in this question. That means, okay, let me just explain how you can do this question first and where the error is later on. Okay, there are some boys and girls in a hall. 4/9 of them were boys. After 11 boys left the hall and half of the girls left the hall, there were equal number of boys and girls remaining. So how many students were there at first? Okay, so firstly, now take note, there's equal number remaining, okay, girls and boys. For if I were to draw a model, I know 4 units will be for boys and 5 units for girls. Because 4/9 means 9 of them, 9 units is the total. So 4 for boys, 5 for girls. After 11 boys left and half of the girls left the hall. All right, so half of the girls left the hall. We will cut this into half. And this is shaded. Okay, so since I cut the unit into half, right? Let me cut everything into half. Okay, so the question said 11 boys left the hall, right? And they are supposed to have equal number left. So to match the portion left, the boys, you remove 3 small units. And that is actually the 11 boys. But the problem is you can't have 11 for 3 units. Okay? You cannot have 11 divided by 3 to give you like a decimal or fraction because this represents the number of boys. There's a total of 8 units. So if you find 8 units, you get like a decimal, which is not possible because number of boys, it has to be whole number. Okay, so the error here is that 11 cannot be 3 units. So this question can't be done. I mean, it's not logical. The answer doesn't make sense, basically. Okay, question number 13. So this question, if you didn't get the answer, it's okay because it's not supposed to be like that. Question flaw. Okay, question number 13. Figure is made up of identical squares and quarter circles. The difference in the parameters of the shaded parts and unshaded part is 40 cm. What is the parameter of the figure? Now, it's quite hard to see if you just read the question. Parameter of the shaded versus parameter of the unshaded, difference is 40. So you need to break it down, like where is the part that is part of the parameter of the shaded and unshaded. Okay, let's look at the parameter of the unshaded first, since that one is easier to see. Okay, so the parameter of unshaded. Okay, you have this, 1 arc and 2 straight lines. Okay, so 1 arc plus 2. Okay, let's call it R for radius. So there are 2 radiuses or radii. Now, perimeter of the shaded parts. Also, okay, let's remove this first. Also, because this is radius, this is also radius in your squares. So you have a lot of equal sides. It's radius, radius. The arc and the straight lines of the shaded part. Straight lines R lah, okay, we represent it using R. R, 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 3 R's, 4, 5, 6. 6 straight lines and 1 arc. So it's 1 arc plus 6R. Now they said that the difference is 40 cm, the difference between the 2 parameters. So what's the difference? The difference is 4R. Okay, 1 arc and 2R, 1 arc and 6R, difference is 4R. So 4R is 40 cm. Okay, then we find 1R, which is the radius. Ten cm. Okay, what's the perimeter of the figure? Perimeter of the figure. How many R? How many arcs? So my R is 10, so this is actually 10. 10. Okay. And this is 10. What I need is the arc. I need to find the arc. Arc using circumference of circle is pi times diameter. So diameter is 10 times 2, 20. Diameter. Okay, so the length of one quadrant arc is pi 3.14. Question said use 3.14 as pi. So pi times diameter, which is 20. Then because it's a quadrant, you have to times a quarter. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. Divided by 4 is 1. 3.14 times 5. 15.7. So 15.7, 15.7. So the perimeter consists of 6R, those highlighted in pink. 6R, 6 times 10, 60. And 2 arcs, 2 of 15.7. So 60 plus 2 times 15.7 is 91.4. So 91.4 cm. Question 14. Teams A and B, each with the same number of students, took part in a game. All students of both teams participated in this challenge. Each student either received 6 tokens or 3 tokens after the game. And this table shows the results by using ratio. Okay, so based on the information above, you're supposed to state whether it's a true, false, or not possible to tell by putting a tick. All right. So first one, Team A collected more tokens than Team B. This ratio is the ratio of the number of students who received 6 tokens to those that received 3 tokens. Okay, it is not the number of tokens, it is the number of students. The question also said that each team A and B each with the same number of students. So since the two ratios is talking about number of students, right? The total of this should give us the same as the total of this. That's your common base. Okay, so here 6 tokens to 3 tokens. Again, this is number of students, not number of tokens. Then I want total. Since the total number of students in both teams are equal, if this total is 5, this is 7, change to 35. 35. So times 7. Okay, so these two ratios are talking about number of students, but the question said team A collected more tokens than team B. With number of students, how do you get the number of tokens? So for each team, right, you have the same total number of students. How do we know which team collected more tokens? The team that has more students collecting collecting 6 tokens will be the team that collected more. Okay, I say again, they have equal number of students, right? So which team collected more tokens? So it's the team that has a greater number of students that collected 6 tokens. So if we just compare the 6 tokens, team B collected more. If you compare the 3 tokens, team B collected less. So team B will collect more in total because it has a higher number of the 6 tokens than the 3 tokens. Okay, so answer is false because team B collected more. Okay, this one can tell, can tell. So A has more students collecting 3 tokens than B for this one. A has more of the 3 tokens than team B. So A total number of tokens will be lesser than B. Okay. Or we can say that A also have fewer collecting more tokens than B. Part II, the boys collected more tokens than the girls in both teams. Okay, so over here, right, this is only split by 6 tokens and 3 tokens. We can't really tell how many boys, how many girls are there. Okay, so that's not possible to tell. There's no mention of boys and girls, so it's impossible to know anything about the boys and girls. Okay, for part B, team B collected a total of 600 tokens after the game. What's the total number of students from A and B? Okay, so team B collected 600 tokens. 600 you cannot divide by 35 because 35 is talking about number of students, whereas 600 is the number of tokens. So you need to find a way to convert number of students to number of tokens. You can apply your quantity value table. Okay, so quantity value and total value. Quantity is talking about number of students. This is 15. This is 20 as given here. Value of 6 tokens is just 6. Value of 3 tokens is just 3. Okay, all right, tokens. Then total value means if you have 15 students collecting 6 tokens, that would be 15 times 6, 90 tokens, and then this one is 60 tokens, 20 times 3. So this is what we call one group. So in one group, how many tokens are there? That's 90 plus 60, 150. Number of groups, so 600 divided by 150. Okay, so some students may know it's supposed to divide, but you don't know what you're finding. This is the number of groups. So question is asking total number of students from A and B. So this is number of students from B, which is 35. Okay, 35 total. A also 35 units. So total 70 units. 70 groups. Sorry, 4 groups. 4 groups of 70. So 70 times 4. 280. Okay, I say again, in one group there are 35 students. So you can take 4 times 35. Then you times 2 for A and B. Or you can just take 4 times 70. Because if B is 35, A is also 35, so total 70. And there are 4 times of that. Okay, next question, question 15. Table partially shows the percentage of visitors to an exhibition on day 1. An equal number of men and women was at the exhibition. So these two missing numbers are actually the same number. What percentage of the total number of visitors were men on day 1? These two add up, or like 31 and 29 are children. Okay, children. 31% plus 29, which is 60%, right? Okay, this is 60%. So that means that this is 40%. So if you want men, right, it's an equal number of men and women. So 40 divided by 2 equals 20%. Okay, so this will be 20%, 20%. On day 2, total number of children who visited the exhibition decreased by 20%, and total number of adults who visited increased by 25%. Was there an increase or decrease in percentage of the total number of visitors from day 1 or from day 1 to day 2? If so, like what is the percentage increase or decrease? Okay, so we use instead of writing percentage, let's use it as units. So meaning boys and girls total 60 units. Okay, so children. Because we're comparing children and adults, right? So children, 60 units. Then adults, 40 units. Children decreased by 20%. So let's find the change. Okay, so the decrease in children. So I will just compare the increase and decrease. So for children, it decreased, which is 20% of 60 units, which is 12 units. Then for adults, okay, for adults, it increased. Adults increased by 25%. Let's find out what's the increase. Increase in adults, (25/100) times 40 units, which is 10 units. Now you compare, you see the decrease, right? It's actually greater than the increase. So you have more leaving than joining. There should be a overall decrease. Okay. Overall decrease. Because the decrease is more than the increase. So it means that more people are leaving than joining. So if more people are leaving, then the total will decrease. Okay. Percentage of the total will decrease. So to find percentage decrease, you have to find the decrease over original. And we're talking about total. Okay, so the decrease in total, you can just use this. If you decrease by 12 and increase by 10, so the overall decrease would be just 2 units, right? Because 12 minus 10, 2 units. So based on the formula, decrease over original total is 100 units, because 60 and 40. Then times 100%. So this will give us 2%. So decrease 2% from day 1 to day 2. Okay, for question 16, figure is made up of a rectangle and some identical circles as shown. Perimeter of the rectangle is 400 cm. So find the area of one circle. Okay, so firstly, this would be the same as the diameter. Okay. Diameter, let's use D. So this whole thing here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this whole thing is 7D. Then this part here would be 3D, 3 diameters. So the perimeter is made up of how many Ds? 7, 7, 3, 3. 7D plus 7D plus 3D plus 3D. The reason why I use D is because I want to find area of the circle later. I will need the radius. So I use diameter first, okay? 20D. So the perimeter is 20D. Perimeter of 20D is 400 cm. So 1D, or the diameter, is 400 divided by 20, which is 20 cm. Now I want to find area of circle. I need radius. So radius would be 20 divided by 2 to give us 10. Area of the circle, pi, which is 3.14, times radius times radius. Answer 314 square cm, since it's area. Okay, for part B, we will not be able to do this question because you need the shaded parts. So the shaded parts not clear on the diagram. It's not clear in this paper. Shaded part not clear from the diagram. Okay, if you manage to get a clearer picture, yeah, you can find. But over here, I can't do that because I don't have the actual shading of the diagram. Okay, so this is the last question. That's all for this is rate swastika. Class test 2, term 2 test.